They laughed. They pointed. They whispered with wine glasses clinking, eyes rolling, lips curling with that cruel, polished arrogance that only the ultra-rich seem to master. At a wedding in the Hamptons, beneath chandeliers and beside tables lined with gold-edged name cards, a black woman in a pressed maid's uniform walked in quietly, and the groom stopped mid-sentence. Because the woman wasn't just the help. She was his ex-wife, the mother of his only child, and in a few minutes, she would dismantle the entire illusion he had built, and do it without raising her voice. Welcome to Luxury Auto 1. We don't just tell stories. We expose the horsepower of truth, one impossible moment at a time. His name was Charles Latham III. 39 years old, founder of a wildly successful tech logistics company. Estimated worth just over $120 million. On this bright July afternoon in 2025, he stood under an archway of orchids, wearing a white tux that cost more than most people's monthly rent, ready to marry his 27-year-old Instagram influencer fiancée, Madison Quinn. Madison was dripping in diamonds, none of which she had paid for, and smiled with a practiced sweetness that didn't quite reach her eyes. The guests, wall-to-wall elites, politicians, CEOs, plastic surgeons, a few actors desperate for a career revival. The air smelled of money, ego, and secrets. Then, as the string quartet transitioned into Vivaldi, the tent door opened, and in walked Angela. Wearing the uniform, a tray in her hands. Silent, Charles locked eyes with her, and visibly froze. Angela used to be his queen. They met in law school. They built everything together. She was there when he coded his first logistics script. She took care of their son, Malcolm, while he chased meetings and late-night VC calls. She stuck by him through a bankruptcy scare, even loaned him money from her side consulting hustle to keep his dream afloat. And when he made it, when the first check cleared and the first office opened, that's when he changed. Suddenly Angela was too serious, not modern enough, bad for image. She didn't fit the mold he now wanted. Young, blonde, and brand-friendly. He divorced her quietly, paid her a cold, tidy settlement, and in private, made cruel jokes. Called her bitter, called her the maid. She hadn't spoken to him since. Until today. Gasps scattered across the tent. Someone murmured, "Is that the ex-wife?" Another said, "Why is she in uniform?" Madison turned to Charles. "What is she doing here?" Charles tried to laugh it off. Maybe the staff didn't get the schedule right. But Angela didn't flinch. She placed the tray on a table and calmly took the mic from the startled wedding planner. She looked out across the glittering sea of guests and said only one sentence. "Before you toast this man for building an empire, you should know who built the foundation." The tent went dead silent. Not a phone buzzed. Not a glass clinked. She looked directly at Charles. "You called me a maid. So today, I wore the uniform. But make no mistake, I mopped your floors and raised your son while you played king. And now that you're done pretending, I'd like to introduce your replacement." With perfect timing, a black SUV pulled up outside the tent. Out stepped a tall, sharply dressed man in his 50s, Reginald Hawthorne, CEO of a billion-dollar tech investment firm, and Angela's new husband. Guests turned their heads